So in the real estate world, let's say like how, because I would have no idea to do that. Literally, as someone who doesn't work in real estate at all, I would have no idea to say this $1.2 million house I could sell for 2.
Yep. So to dig into that a little bit. So my partner and I, our whole thesis with it is you want to buy it for a third, then you want to put an additional third into improvements.
Got it.
So improving the property in some way, that could be like building a nice driveway into it. And just so everyone's clear, in real estate, a lot of what I do is around land development. So not always is there a house on the property. A lot of times it's just like vacant land, like woods that you would normally see.
So I'm going to stop you for a quick second. There is, in music, we call it A&R, which is artist and repertoire. There is, you for example, you sign an artist who's a great singer, and then the A&R team or the management team applies artist development, which is essentially like pairing you with the right producer and the right songwriter and getting the right vocal coach and developing you. So there's a component of that. I am now on camera and on mic just understanding this. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. So that extra third goes into like everything from basically beautifying it, making improvements like what you just talked about just in the real estate world. And then the additional third is what you want to make the profit for. So it's a very simple system where you know, hey, we have to buy it for a third. We're going to put an additional third that's going to go into marketing and making that property the best possible property. And then that additional third, that's what we expect to make in profit.
Understood. So there has to be an art form. There is an art form to what you're putting in is going to be not proportionate with what you're getting back. You have to be getting back even more. What is the key to that? How do you describe that? Because I'm having a hard time understanding that. It's like, if I put down $100,000 and I'm creating $100,000 more value, shouldn't I get $100,000 back? And you're saying, no, you should get 200 back. Yeah.
So a big thing is you always want to buy an undervalued asset.
Sure.
And how...
I get that part, but I'm saying for the development part, why it's like I buy a house, I spend $100,000 on an addition to the house.
Sure.
Why is the house now worth twice as much?
Sure. Well, it's like with anything, just because you put $1 into it doesn't mean that the perceived value is $1 either.
Okay.
It's all about what the buyer perceives. So you could put
hype.
Exactly. Let's say you build this gorgeous 10-acre pond on this property. So you buy this property, it already has a house on it, and you build this beautiful pond with this great garden around it, and you build this really nice driveway and this trail that walks you around this pond, and you have all these you throw a bunch of interesting fish in this pond.
Sure.
Like you really do it. You make it look beautiful.
1 sec?
Please.
So I think the value is almost in, which is what it should be, apples to apples. The value is in you having the vision. You know what I mean? The value is more in the untangible. The value is not in the rocks and the water and the koi pond. The value is not there. The value is in you having the vision to take a 7 house and turn it into a 10. And the assets to make it a 10 are a factor, obviously, that you factor in, but it's more that you had the expertise and the vision to get it there. Because the truth of the matter is, like, I'm trying to think of a parallel in music. It's like, the idea for the song is damn near the most important thing. Going to the producer and paying them $15K to produce it out or whatever, like...
But you also want to know the comps. Like, that's the other big thing that I think would relate to music, too. Like, let's say you're looking at a neighborhood and you're just buying one piece of... Let's even just use more traditional real estate where you're buying a house.
Okay.
If the whole neighborhood is filled with homes that are worth $150,000, I don't care how beautiful you make that last home in there, you still ain't going to sell it for much more than $150,000. So you still have to understand what the comparables are in the area. So what other things are selling for, so that you can build towards that comp. But that's when we look at our algorithm that we built, like we got to make sure that it's always falls in line, where even if we do build the most beautiful koi pond, it's not going to take something that's shitty into gold.